Now let's turn to another big story today. Israeli security forces have been carrying out a major operation in the north of the occupied West Bank, thought to be one of the biggest such operations there in years. The Palestinian Red Crescent says at least 11 people have been killed. 6 reportedly died in a drone strike near Jenin and in an airstrike in the Al-Ras refugee camp in the Jordan Valley, while Israeli army claims it has killed 9 Palestinian terrorists with reports of military activity in Tom, Jenin, Nablus and Tais. It is believed to be the first time in 20 years that at least 4 West Bank cities have been targeted simultaneously. Why the West Bank is known as an occupied territory and how the area is governed. The West Bank is described as occupied by the UN Security Council decision because these areas were supposed to be Palestinian areas. The treaty between the Palestinians and Israel are dedicating this area to be self-controlled by the Palestinian Authority, and across the years the Israeli authorities approved establishing many settlements in the West Bank. The difference between the West Bank and Gaza: the West Bank has got Israeli citizens as good settlers. Their numbers are nearly 500,000 people and the situation is very fragile. Gaza has all primarily Palestinian people living there, but now with Israeli presence in Gaza is making these things really difficult, and also by separating by northern Gaza from southern Gaza by narrowing corridor is making things really difficult for the people there. Middle East correspondent Yolande Nell told us a little more about the operation. What been hearing from the local journalists really is its terms of the scope as well as the scale of this, that it's being compared to the days of the Palestinian second or uprising some 2 decades ago. It's hard to get a lot of information. Cities like Jenin, the main entrances have been closed off by Israeli forces, preventing journalists from getting in. But what we been hearing from that Israeli forces are surrounding at least 2 of the hospitals, and we also been hearing reports of gun battles going on in the urban refugee camp there that has been the subject of so many Israeli military raids in the past, that of course involving Palestinian armed groups and Israeli soldiers, but also ongoing action in other places in Tulkarem, in Nablus, in the north of the Jordan Valley, where a Palestinian ambulance crew says that after a drone strike they've been struggling to reach some of those wounded because that the Israeli forces are still present there as well. The Israeli military has not said very much officially about what is going on. It's talk about this being counterterrorism operation involving different security forces. We had the Israeli Foreign Minister Israel Katz, who's come out in particular to talking about how the Israeli military is acting with full force, he said, in the north of the West Bank, and he accuses Iran of backing Palestinian armed groups to really open up a new front, he says, against Israel, and says that this action is necessary to deal with them, that they may have to adopt measures such as those seen in the Gaza Strip, including temporary evacuations of Palestinian residents. That is something that will really alarm Palestinians. We had a comment also from the spokesperson for the Palestinian Authority, President Mahmoud Abbas. He has been saying that what's happening is escalating the ongoing war in Gaza, and saying that it will lead to dire and dangerous results for which everybody will pay the price. While dear Jerusalem, we do have a live page of what is happening in the West Bank on our around the world and across the UK. Thank you so much.